much. Good afternoon. It's really awesome to be here. To be back in Burlington, back in UVM, and with all of you. I recognize a few faces here. Some of you have been in my office for the marketing club the last couple of years. But it's a real honor for me to share this moment with everyone here today. Thank you, Dean DeWitt, for inviting me to speak. To be honest, I couldn't quite believe it when I received the Dean's call. I sent her back a note saying, I'm honored to accept, but why me? You know, you're all probably having a similar thought. Who is this kid? Who is this guy? Is he a member of Congress? Celebrity? Captain of industry? What does he have to say? Has he ever given a commencement address before? No. No to all of them. Well, Rocky gave me an assignment. I'm sure some of you have gotten assignments from Rocky. To share some wisdom, hopefully inspire you. So at the end of this speech, maybe you'll see why I was chosen. Congratulations to everyone here whose energy has made this day possible. Faculty and staff, way to go. We made it through another year. Moms and dads, you must be so proud, relieved, and broke. Graduates, soak it all in. This moment, the feeling of accomplishment, savor it. Because starting tomorrow, you're back to square one. Congratulations again. You've all accomplished this great milestone together. Enjoy the moment. Being here today takes me back to another century, the 20th century, 1981 to be exact. I was in the audience like you, about to graduate Groovy UV. Sitting in Patrick Gym, I can still smell the sweet aroma of the Grateful Dead show from the night before. As I sat in my cap and gown, I felt excited to be done with school, ready to crack open that bottle of champagne under my robe, and completely clueless about my future. Perhaps some of you feel the same way. What do I do now? Well, I truly had no clue what I was going to do for my career. I had so many different interests, the desire to make something of myself, but no idea of how or what. What was I going to be? How was I going to get there? Like there was a place to get to. Little did I know. As I reflect back now to the stress of being a graduate, I wish somebody had told me what I'm about to share with you. Perhaps somebody did, but I couldn't hear it at the time. So listen carefully. There is no there to get to, only a journey to take, a series of chapters to write and paths to explore. So here's a little bit about my journey. I mean, Rocky told you a bit, I'll give you a little more flavor. 2 weeks after commencement, I was on a plane to Cochabamba, Bolivia, to live with my father's relatives, learn Spanish, and travel. I wanted to dig and find my roots. I knew the success my dad had achieved, but I didn't understand what he had to overcome to accomplish it. As a poor kid growing up in Bolivia, my father dreamed of a better life by coming to the United States. He made that dream a reality in 1950, when he arrived in Passaic, New Jersey, with a medical degree and a suitcase full of ambition, energy, and determination to, as he used to say, make something of himself. Well, he sure did make something of himself, becoming a successful surgeon, marrying a beautiful nurse, raising 3 sons, and traveling the world. My father came a long way from being the son of a poor Quechuan Indian woman to becoming a doctor in America. Now, what would I do? I was a privileged, some might say spoiled, doctor's kid from Jersey. What could I do to equal the achievement of my father? When I asked him for direction and advice, he would only say, do what you love and be the best. That was his mantra, his secret of success. It took me many years to find what I loved. I kept looking, often without success. One lesson my journey has taught me was to learn by process of exploration. After 6 months in Bolivia and traveling around South America, I ended up in Washington, D.C., working for a U.S. government agency. I'll never forget my first salary, $18,000. Wow, was I living large. After a few months, I knew I wasn't destined to be a government worker, so that job didn't last very long. A year later, my minor at UVM had finally been put to full use in chest-deep powder at Kitzbühel, Austria. Washing pots and pans at night, teaching tourists how to snowplow during the day. The glorious life of the ski bum. After a year of exploring Europe, I was broke and ready to start the next chapter, so I came home with literally 5 Deutschmarks in my pocket. Now what? Back to Burlington, of course. Without an idea of what to do, I eventually found myself interviewing for a job as a stockbroker. I ended up winning one of 2 trainee spots at Dean Witter Reynolds in Burlington. I found something I could excel at. I loved the fact that I controlled my own destiny. I could determine what I got paid. But after a while, I tired of talking about earnings per share and PE ratios. As my mom, who's here today, and always supported me in my journey, would say, David, you get bored when you're not challenged. You know, she's right. So the search was on for the next challenge. What now? Selling stocks and bonds just wasn't creative or stimulating enough. It was time to pursue my creative passion, photography. January 1989, I'm back on a plane, this time one-way ticket to Hong Kong, to see some good friends from UVM, explore Asia, and build my photography portfolio. Koh Samui, Bangkok, Sumatra, Bali, Berlin, Copenhagen, all the way around the world. By the time I got home 9 months later, I shot 1,000 rolls of film and was desperately in love with a Swedish girl. The Swedish girl quickly proceeded to blow me off and break my heart, but that's another story. My career as a photographer was very exciting, but the opportunity of the internet boom was too compelling to pass up. I went to work for a series of small, privately owned companies where I was exposed to business ownership. I wasn't cut out to be an employee. I wanted to be the boss. But it took me getting fired 3 times to figure that out. It was then that I knew I needed to be the owner of the company and control my own destiny. After recognizing this, I began searching for a new direction. Now it's early 1999, I'm 40. I feel adrift professionally, unfulfilled, insecure about my future, and frustrated working for the man. Married and about to start a family. No wonder I had an ulcer and was in therapy. So I went to work on a plan to start my own business. By September, my wife Nicole is 6 months pregnant with our daughter Martine. I quit my job and started my first company, Lumina Americas, an incubator for Hispanic-focused internet startups in the US and Latin America. I raised $25 million in venture money and was off to the races. My timing was perfect. I'm riding a surfboard on the internet wave. 6 months later, looking over my shoulder, the wave crashes on my head. The stock market collapses, dot-coms go bust, and then 9/11 happens. Back to square one again. Determined to keep the dream of my own business alive, I rebuild. Out of the ashes of Lumina, I emerged and started a new company, Latin Force. Still focused on the US Hispanic market, but doing business and marketing strategy. Today, I'm having the time of my life. I'm standing up here, I have a healthy and happy family, and a thriving business in the exciting, fast-growing Hispanic market. So that's my story. Enough about me. Here's the advice side and the wisdom, hopefully. The advice I have to share with you graduates is to explore the world and in turn explore yourself. Leave this country and hear, feel, and smell how the rest of the world lives. Continue your educations in the streets and villages of Latin America, Asia, Africa, and Europe. We live in a global economy where understanding different cultures and languages is a personal competitive advantage. Create your own definitions of success. It's not what my parents or your parents knew. We need to be flexible. Embrace change. The world is so dynamic today that you have to morph yourself many times over your career. Don't be afraid to reinvent yourself to seek out opportunity. Don't do what you think you should do. Follow your heart. The key is to know your abilities and inner qualities. This will make you a success at whatever you choose. Make time for yourself, for your family, for your community. Feed your soul. Don't be afraid to try and fail. Find your inspiration, whatever that is. Starting your own business, saving the world, government service, or a corporate career. Nurture your inspiration and fuel it with determination, humor, passion, and commitment. The determination to be the best you can be, the humor to laugh and enjoy the ride, the passion to make a difference, and the commitment to be true to yourself. I'm 48 years old. I've been a government bureaucrat, a ski bum, a stockbroker, a photographer, a dot-commer, and now I'm a multicultural marketing entrepreneur / private equity guy. My wife probably has an ulcer from all the career changes I've had. I, however, am excited to find out what's next. In today's economy, we all have to be entrepreneurs. And when I say entrepreneur, you don't have to be the person to start the next Google. Doctors, educators, corporate executives are all entrepreneurs. We live in a world where it's important to be a creative leader, no matter what your field. Every era has its waves of opportunity. The 90s was the internet. Today, the environment, sustainable resource development, and philanthropy are a few that come to mind. Another that I feel qualified to discuss is the exciting and fast-growing world of multicultural marketing. The U.S. Census announced this week, on the cover of the page of USA Today, that the latest population growth figures showed that so-called minorities now constitute 1/3 of the United States population, 100 million people. The demographic changes occurring today are and will continue to have a profound impact on popular culture, politics, business, education, public policy, every aspect of our society. Latinos are the engine of economic growth in America today, accounting for the fastest growing segment of the population, purchasing power. So if one's selling automobiles, flat-screen televisions, clothes, mortgages, or anything else, growth will come from Latino consumers. I built my business on being at the forefront of understanding the changes multicultural America will bring and finding the opportunities that lie therein. Goldman Sachs is investing with me in this fast-growing future. So I invite you all to consider a career in this burgeoning field. There are many opportunities. We all need the help we can get. So in closing, the University of Vermont has prepared you well to go out in the world, a world with so many exciting opportunities that are in need of fresh, creative, responsible leadership. You graduates are new leaders. It will be you who will find the solutions to today's challenges. Perhaps in 26 years, we one of you will be standing here giving the commencement address in 2033. Think of that. There's an expression in Spanish that roughly translated says, once you start down the path, you will find your way. Remember, focus on the journey, savor the paths you take, the stops you make, and the chapters you write. Find what you love, be the best you can be, and enjoy the ride. It goes fast. Thank you, and good luck.